So back with part 3 here, and as you can see I've now got the console mostly put back together again. I've put some new thermal compound on the CPU and the GPU, and I've refitted the heat sinks as well and tightened everything up properly. I've got the AV cable and the power plugged in. So what I'm going to do here is just fire this up and see what we get, if we get any signs of life. If we don't, it's not a problem. I'm still really just doing a kind of diagnostic checks on it right now, so if we get the red lights of death we can take it from there. So the fans kick in and we've still got the 3 red lights of death. But that's not a problem. So the next thing I'm going to try here is unplugging the fans from the motherboard, and it's a little trick you can try just as a kind of temporary fix to get the console working again. And with these earlier consoles, a lot of the time the problem was that the CPU and the GPU chips would actually come away from the motherboard, and they'd lose connection, lose electrical contact with the motherboard. But what you can do is by unplugging the fans, it'll overheat the GPU, CPU and the motherboard, and it can slightly change the shape of the motherboard against these chips, and you can temporarily bridge those connections again. So if I overheat it for, say, 10 minutes, plug everything back in again, and then turn it on and we get normal green lights, then that obviously indicates that there's a problem with the contacts between those chips and the motherboard. And that's what I'm kind of guessing is going to be the problem with this. But if that is the problem, we can then either replace the X clamps or reflow, or do a kind of homemade kind of reflow to get it working with some kind of degree of reliability, I suppose. So that's what I'll do now. I'll turn this on without the fans connected. It should flash with 3 red lights, and we'll just leave it like that for, I don't know, maybe about 10 minutes. So it's been a few minutes, and as you can see the console is now flashing 2 red lights at me, and that indicates that it's overheating. So if I leave it like this for too much longer, it'll actually kill the power and turn itself off automatically to prevent any long-term damage. What I'm going to do here is just turn it off like that, and I'll unhook the power as well. And I'll just leave it like this for maybe about a minute, and then plug everything back in again and see if we get any signs of life. But I wouldn't recommend doing this normally. It's just something to try to find out what the true cause of your 3 red lights of death is. It's had some time to cool down, so let's try this again and see if we get any signs of life. So fire this up. Come on, give me green lights. Yay! Green lights, excellent. And there's the dashboard loading as well. So it looks like the new version of dashboard, which means sadly I won't be able to JTAG hack this one, but that's alright. At least we now know that the problem's with either the CPU or the GPU coming loose or losing contact with the motherboard. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll strip this back down to the motherboard again, and I'll have a go at adjusting the tension in those X clamps and trying to get a reliable fix. But I'll do that in the next video, so thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again very soon.